Do you think your personal brand is as exciting and interesting as Google or Coca-Cola or Nike, or maybe you don't like those brands, but Tesla, maybe Tesla. I know there's a lot of Tesla fanboys and girls out there. Maybe Victoria's Secret. That's a cool brand. I'm guessing you say, no, Jack. I know your personal brand is probably not as famous and lucrative as those brands, but it could very well be just as much interesting and liked as those brands. And then we ask ourselves, how can they pull that off, right? Actually, they understand how our mind works and they know what we need to hear, see, and feel, and all the other senses too. By the way, I'm Jack, and I'm a business coach, and I help life coaches grow their business to reach $8,000 a month selling their 101 packages, coaching services. Okay, so I'm quite sure you've already wondered whether there's a reason behind everything we do, the way we act, the choices we make, the actions we take every day. Of course there's a reason. We all desire and deserve happiness. We want to be happy. And in order to achieve happiness, we must fulfill some human needs. Have you ever heard of the 6 human needs? Okay, Tony Robbins' study known as the 6 human needs, it reveals everything we must have and absorb in order to reach plenitude and enjoy personal satisfaction in all the areas of life. So every person needs to feel safe, confident, experience some sort of variety, receive a compliment, connect with nature, connect with other people, be loved, right? We want to grow intellectually, and we want to help others do the same. And these famous brands, they showcase elements in their communication that fulfill our 6 human needs. That's how slick they are. When I found out about that, I was like, what? I was shocked. Not because of the fact that they're going after our human needs. No, not that. But because it's so simple. It's a simple strategy and it's easy. And then we could do that too. So in this video, we're going to go over the 6 human needs and understand how they can be applied to our personal branding and our sales in general. So we can get to start converting and growing sales to reach $8,000 a month. Because every single prospective client you talk to, or every single follower watching your video on social media, is first and foremost a person, a human being. And humans, they seek for their core values, their core needs. And how can we fulfill their needs? Through our messaging, while speaking on a video or talking with them on a discovery call, a sales call. So if you implement these 6 human needs in your messaging, you'll be needed at all times. So your personal brand as a coach will be much more interesting. So these needs, when used by you strategically, they can transform the outcome you want from that sale, from that conversation, that discovery call you're having with your client. So these are not tricks or magical spell or anything crazy. They are scientifically proven to be effective. And boy, do they work. I've been using these needs when I write my emails, my copy, my video scripts, even this video here you're watching. I made sure to touch some of the human needs when I was writing the script. And I know you can do it too. You can apply these 6 human needs into your coaching business. So let's just dive into them, right? The first one is called certainty. We can call it safety too, but it's known as certainty. We all need to feel safe and secure to a specific level. Each one of us has a different sensor to which we determine whether we're feeling safe. If there isn't any certainty, we feel uncomfortable. And so this need must be fulfilled at all times, okay? How can we guarantee that our audience is feeling safe and that they're secure, that they're actually listening to the right person? So to offer certainty is to let them fully aware of what's coming next, or at least knowing what's still to come is something interesting and beneficial to them. I'm going to go over some topics here to give you examples of how you can include certainty in your communication with your prospective clients and your audience in general on social media, for example. The first topic is called certification. So we should let people always know about our certificates, diplomas, and our accomplishments in our fields. You can show them in a subtle way of avoiding being arrogant, because we tend to hide our qualities because we fear being seen as, I don't know, maybe snobbish or patronizing. Believe me, it's much more valuable to let them feel safe and consequently making a sale than to let them project their insecurity on you. Next one, testimonials. You knew this one, right? So you should ask your clients, people who have worked with you, anyone who can express verbally their positive experience with you, whether in your personal life or your professional life. It could be personal too. You need to tap into the progress that they've experienced. Show your audience the brands of relevant companies you had contact with or helped in any way. Bring up study cases during your conversation and let your potential clients know about the transformation your former clients had after working with you. That will certainly provide them certainty. Okay, next one. Tell the truth. Do we really have to mention this one? Yes, I think we have. Make sure your communication is at all times 100% truthful. Never let your audience feel there's something doubtful about the message. This might lead them to feel a bit insecure. So talk about what you really know. If you have any doubts, leave it out entirely until you've researched more thoroughly. That way you can deliver more accurate information during your next call. Many coaches, they feel that they're good communicators and they're good salespeople because they feel confident speaking. That confidence might be dangerous when they start to improvise on subjects they don't have control of. So be careful. Always speak the truth. Next one, sources. It's important that you express clearly that you're being inspired by renowned role models. Always bring lessons referring to the sources where you gain that knowledge, whether it's a book or a course or a teacher that taught you that, or a professional influence of someone you work with that helped you, someone known, of course. It helps them trust your information and therefore you're passing on some safeness. Okay, next one. Always be a learner. Show your audience that you're always learning and evolving. Let them know you're constantly enrolling in new courses, learning more and more and more. A good tip here, replace the expression I know this, I know that by I learned this, I learned that. The results are impressive. People notice that you're not some know-it-all bragging around, and instead you're smart because you always want to learn more. Next one, no apologies. Always show your best. Avoid showing what's not interesting. An honest mistake is human and acceptable, of course. But your prospects are not going to follow you through the rest of your day. They only see you for that 1 hour on the call, or maybe watching you on social for a few minutes, the length of your video. You're not as human then when you're doing that. You must be the best and meet their expectation. Sometimes they don't see your mistake. If you say your story, you're actually getting them to go out of their way to notice something they might not have noticed. That's crazy, right? Okay, so those were a few tips for you to provide certainty. I could go on and on here talking about this one human need. There's more, actually, another 5 of them. So on one hand, people need to feel safe, have certainty, and we're doing that. But on the other hand, there's another human need, which is the next one, and it's called uncertainty. What? That's right. The next human need, the second one, is called uncertainty. So we all enjoy a good surprise, right? We are driven by a need of uncertainty. While we need to feel safe to be sure of what's coming, we also need to know something is going to surprise us, and then we don't get bored. So this second human need is also called variety. It feeds us with the new, the unexpected, and that's what keeps us curious. That's what keeps us alive. It keeps us paying attention. How do we provide uncertainty then? So let's go over some topics. First one, polemic. It may sound a poor strategy to catch people's attention, but indeed it's what people want. They want polemic. That's how you entertain your audience during your speech. By injecting polemic behavior here and there throughout your conversation, your sales call, or your video. You will provoke a reaction from your audience, possibly even raising a few eyebrows. It causes discomfort in a positive way, allowing the audience to react, wake up, and then re-engage in what you're saying. Then we lead them to the relevant content, what you really want to tell them. It's when we take some risks in a controlled environment, controlled by you. So create or say something polemic to meet the uncertainty need. This one is always used in good marketing and in copywriting. You see sometimes headlines like, your clients are not interested in your stories, or you've been doing this wrong. It's provocative in a way. And that's actually the one about the story is a headline I used in a video I posted a few days ago. Okay, moving on. News. Always use new expressions, stories, words, or statements. Bring up some fresh news you've heard or you've read recently in your message. Keep yourself updated at all times. That's how you provide people with new things. And by doing so, you maintain your communication always uncertain. People don't know what you're going to say next. That's a good one. Okay, moving on. Next one. Unexpected opening. So use variety in your openings. I always teach this one in my courses. Start with something they've never heard before. Always tell something unusual. An expected statement is always a great way to start your presentation. This is one of my favorites. People know that because I talk about that all the time. Tell something people aren't expecting. Connect with them through the uncertainty. So certainty you've already offered. You say something funny. Now you can get them by surprise. And if you say something funny, they also get amused in the beginning. So that's a great one. Moving on, mystery. You can offer some uncertainty when you leave something mysterious for your prospective clients to think about. You can start a story or a train of thought, but then you diverge onto another topic, only to finish the story at the end of the conversation you're having with them. Say you get back to that later. So you keep their attention until the end as they wait for your conclusion. I'm sure you know many other ways to provide uncertainty during your messaging when promoting your services or closing the sale. So what else can we do to be uncertain? Leave your ideas in the comments. I want to know more about that. What do you think could be a good way to provide uncertainty? All right, what is the next one? The next human need is called significance. Significance. Everyone needs to feel significant. Whether it is the things, the people, or even the world we surround ourselves with, we all seek to have meaningful and significant relationships with the things we care about, with people. So it's important to instill those feelings onto your audience. The value this will have on your prospective clients cannot be overstated. So how do we provide significance? Let's go over some topics again. The first one, compliments, validation. So compliment as often as you can. Compliment in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. Validations are among the most valuable principles of human relations, right? A sincere compliment has the power to change everything between two or more people instantly. Then in turn, it goes hand in hand with significance, which makes that need so deserved. Try to say nice things about your clients as often as you can. Talk about how nice they look, how cool their name is, how nice their background is when you're talking with them on a call. Now, buttering them up by aimlessly praising them is not the same as giving a genuine, well thought out compliment that will grab their attention and make them feel significant in the environment that you created. So that's a good one. Validations. Moving on, next one, active listening. We must learn how to listen. People are almost always in need of a good listener. Humans have this innate desire to tell their story and unburden themselves of the emotional weight that the day-to-day life can be to them. Whether it is stress or grief, or whether it's just success and happiness, people are in constant need of someone who will listen. Being a good listener will form a personal connection that will provoke an emotional response. More importantly, you must actively listen to your clients or prospective clients. Not just pretend to listen. Let them speak and be genuinely interested. All right, moving on. Next one. Over-delivery. If your message was intended to be within a certain time frame, it's okay to surprise your viewers or prospective clients with more, as long as your intention is flexible with their time. Be more than what your audience was expecting. This will also lend a hand at bringing uncertainty to your speech, and that adds intrigue. Deliver more than what was promised. Simple as that. We can do that. And we do that all the time. Make sure you do that to deliver significance. Moving on to the next one. Leave a mark. People will want to remember you with a true meaning. And you need them to remember you. The best way to do this is to leave a mark and then stand out. The experience will be a significant one if you distinguish yourself as a moment that altered their life, separating it into two parts: their life before meeting you and their life after meeting you. It's transformational, and you are making them feel the significance they need. That's a great one. Next one, utility. Now, you can teach something useful on the spot. You know, when you see those videos of daily tips for your household on Facebook, you see those things and you're like, what? That's so simple, that's cool. So do something like that. Leave a very, very useful tip, some advice that they can use right away or just on the same day or after the call. Let them experience the feeling of being completely satisfied when something was really worth taking the time to listen to. That's a great way for them to feel significant. All right, we're past halfway point. Let's go to the fourth human need. And this one is called connection / love. Sometimes we call this need also love. So it's connection and love. And love is the life's oxygen, right? And people seek love and connection with each other and with the world. Connection is also a basic human need. So we must find out how to connect with our audiences. The first topic here is language. One of the best ways to connect with your audience is through language. So it's imperative that you start by speaking the same language, the same one, both literally and metaphorically. We all need to hear what's factual and also what gives us comfort. So try to avoid using too many language barriers. like words or slangs or expressions of a limited social group or an audience. So pay attention to whether they use a different terminology or slang in a different connotation. Use it when appropriate, of course. So people should feel you coming from the same place so they can connect and empathize with you. Next one, authenticity. I talk about this one all the time. People don't normally process a lesson in a single sitting, especially coming from someone they don't trust yet. They don't know on a personal level. So I'm always talking about this one. So if you know me, you've heard me talk about being authentic to connect. People are always skeptical of a new information coming from a stranger, often second-guessing everything we say. However, opening up to them and revealing a bit about ourselves, about our lives, a little piece of our history will lower their defenses, and we can get them to trust us much more quickly. So to be authentic is to find your true nature and share it with the world. You can't pretend to be someone else when you are conversing with your clients or sending a message to your audience on social media, for example. You have to know yourself inside and out and share that with the world. If we speak from our heart, people will listen with their hearts too. So connect with people by being something they are as well. Humans. Be normal. Be a person, a human being. Your audience may not have lived the same story as you, but they have certainly felt the same emotion at some point. Because that's being what? Human. All right, moving on. Create a brand. When communicating, we must always stay within the same pattern. The expected connection happens when people truly understand the language, whether it's verbal or non-verbal. We then must have an identity, a specific brand. You have to be known by this or that. Remember to connect using proper language, but also within your individual identity. If you have like a tick, for example, that works to your advantage, just use it. Be charming and be sure to smile. Okay, moving on. Mantras or catchphrase. Create a mantra, a catchword, a catchphrase, something that has your stamp on it. When your client remembers you, they remember that phrase, that word, that mantra that became your individual mark. So this also brings authenticity to your audience. You are unique. All right, how else can we connect and show love with our clients during our sales calls? Share your thoughts in the comments. All right, what's next? Human need number 5 is called evolution. Evolution is a conscious progress. If you're not aware of the progress happening, then you didn't grow, right? If we're not growing emotionally, we're stranded, standing still, stagnated, or even going in reverse, regressing in some way. So evolution is the one human need we must all achieve in order to successfully fulfill the other areas of our life. You must feel as though you have evolved as a person through your accomplishments. So let's go over some ways of providing evolution. First one, be a learner or a teacher. As people feel certainty when you show your learnings, they also feel evolution. So go for the evolution through your way of learning at all times. Show your acquired knowledge and offer the stages of evolution in how you got there for your audience to observe. Oh, that's how he got there. He learned through that process. So deliver new information, bringing progress to people. Teach them something that touches them on an emotional level. In October of 2011, I was trying a position as an account executive for this big TV network. The job I had before I became a life and business coach. I remember I got that job because I chose to use the expression, I learned that, instead of saying, I know this or I know that. So at that time, I was being called for many different interviews, and I decided to apply some different techniques and find out which ones will get me through the process. So I managed to offer some certainty and also evolution. All right, next one, laboratory. Use the moment of learnings as a lab. Show people you are learning something new and experimenting with self-development in the lab. Also, because it's a lab, it's controlled and in a safe environment. Let your audience know your message is being sent back and forth in a controlled and supervised lab. Give them more incentive to always be learning as well. That helps a lot to show evolution. Right, next one, presenting as human. So everybody needs a humanizing moment, right? If possible, use this one throughout your entire speech. But set aside a moment to guarantee you providing that exposure. So allow yourself to appear human through your imperfections. Always move forward with your presentation, regardless of what transpires then. You can always play the authenticity card here, and they'll see, okay, he's just another human like myself. All right, moving to the last need. This one is called contribution. Contribution is the human need number 6. So life isn't I or you, life is we. We came to this world to live and grow together. I love this. And we should aspire to pay forward, returning any gifts we have received back to the universe from which they were received, right? The meaning of life does not reveal itself with the things we receive, but rather the things we gift to others. People need to feel the sense of contribution in order to fulfill thoroughly. So the first topic here is smile. It's very common for people who take my courses and seminars to be nervous when they're speaking, because I normally put them on the spot. But they often show like a more serious face than the normal face. And the first thing I say, smile, and make them smile too. Even when you don't know the reason, an open smile can transform people's state of emotion. You spread joy and comfort to your audience, and they'll feel that they should do the same. It works. All right, next one is called role model. So we can always inspire people to follow a certain path or follow a particular model that we put together for them, so long as the intention behind is a positive one, of course. Everything you want to accomplish in life has already been done by someone. So these people can teach the recipe. Be yourself a role model then. Promote the good and suggest that people do the same. Speak about your mission in life and ask them to talk about their true missions as well. That's a good one. So next one, leave a legacy. People who listen to you may or may not have a long-term goal for what they want to do in this world. And that's a very justified doubt, right? Most of my clients, they don't have an answer when I ask them what their main goals are. They take a few seconds before trying out an answer. So if you are certain of your purpose in this world, you know how to share this purpose with others, then share it with your clients. They will receive the greatest gift of life, which is the true reason of being in it. That sounded cool, didn't it? Always explain what legacy you're hoping to leave behind. So you show empathy and true concern for our planet, for the environment, and also for our home. So teach this to all of your viewers. And that brings us to the last topic of this list. Teach how to teach. Everyone who knows how to teach can also teach how to do that. If you're leaving an important message to your prospective clients, this lesson can be passed on to other people. So teach your clients how to teach what they learned. Be open with people and provide to them any of the techniques you have used in your successes. If these golden secrets have proved invaluable to you, chances are they will prove invaluable to others as well. Don't hide the professor's formulas. So encourage them right away to share the precious knowledge with people around them. And that's a great way to provide the sense of contribution, which is a human need. So there you have it. Those were the 6 human needs applied to sales. We should use them at all times. Now, I want you to try them out in your next message, whether it's an email or a video that you're going to record or a call you have scheduled. Write down the 6 human needs: certainty, uncertainty, significance, connection, evolution, and contribution. And see if you're providing and fulfilling those needs during your speech. You will start converting sales one after the other, because now you're using what most successful brands use when they communicate with their target audience. So you end up reaching the $8,000 to $10,000 a month selling your coaching services.